What's up, Lanphier? Welcome to the premiere episode of the Ram Report. I'm your host, Reed McCoy. On this week's episode, we have highlights from the JV football game against Marysville and an interview with men's tennis MAC champion Brad Oltersdorf, and a little segment we call Hallway Heads Up. But before we get to that, let's check out some highlights from the varsity football game against their rival, Clawson.
First, we have Dylan Chargo throwing a 5-yard touchdown pass to Joe McNabb for the Rams' first score of the night. As the Rams' defense prevails, Tristan Perry throws an interception, which leads to a fumble recovery by Joe McNabb. As the Rams gain momentum from the interception, their defense blocks a punt to give them even more momentum. As momentum shifts downwards, Tristan Perry runs for 40 yards to seal the deal. The Trojans go off to win 28-12.
Tough loss for the varsity football team. Let's hope they can put it back together this week in the homecoming game against Clintondale. Let's move on to better news. This week, the tennis team was fortunate to have themselves a MAC champion. Our Jordan Nichols had the chance to sit down with Brad Oltersdorf and talk about that big win.
On this Ram Report, we have Brad Oltersdorf.
Hey Jordan, how you doing?
Good. So tennis isn't your first sport. What made you get involved with the Lanphier tennis team?
Well, I really wanted to do something in the spring, and since baseball, or in the fall, my bad. And since baseball really isn't going on in the fall, I saw that this tennis team was like having their games and stuff, and a few players from the baseball team were doing it, and I was close friends with them, so I decided to join and play with them, and yeah.
Brad, how do you feel about playing for Coach White?
It is different from playing with coaches like Coach Woolley because he does expect us to do so much, and he does have like a high level of belief in us that he pushes us really hard. And when we go over to Coach White, he doesn't really expect us to do much, so it is a lot chiller, it's a lot calmer, it's a lot easier. So, it's okay, I guess.
What is your daily routine for tennis practice?
So basically, I get out to the courts at 3 o'clock. At 3 to 3:15, I work on my serves because I'm not that good at serving. And from 3:15 to 4:30, my partner Colin Liam and I normally challenge the other teams just to play and stay unrusty, I guess.
So obviously you play another sport. How does this tennis season prepare you for the upcoming baseball season?
This tennis season prepares me for baseball because it keeps my agility going, a lot of side-to-side movement in tennis. It also keeps my competitiveness up because I hate losing, so it just stays up there. It just keeps me in shape, and it helps me become a better teammate by learning other people that I don't normally know.
What were your first thoughts when you first won the MAC?
So I expected to win the MAC. During the MAC MAC League, we were undefeated, and then going into the MAC Championship, we were ranked 1 seed, so I was expecting to win. I was super excited though when I did win because I have won so much of baseball, but in tennis I haven't won anything. So when I did win, it was like a big, I was so proud of myself because all the work they did put in, it just finally paid off.
Let's switch gears here for a minute. Mr. Woolley had a chance to talk to some colleagues and test their knowledge in a little game we like to call Hallway Heads Up. This week's contestant is the one and only Mr. Bellier.
Okay, it's not a king, it's not a queen, it's not a
Jack.
Princess. What's the opposite of a princess? Pass it, go down. Futuristic
Robot?
officer. Movie.
Robotic.
Detroit.
Robot. Robocop.
Yes. Where we are right now is
School.
called, yep.
School musical.
But-
School Killer Rock.
Yeah, yep. Oh no, you got it right, down, right. They take the dog out and they shoot it. Laugh.
Humane. Insane.
Op-
of misery.
Opposite of young.
Old.
And-
Old Yeller.
Yes. Yeah. Pass it up. Yeah, we can't do that one.
Finally, tonight we had a chance to check out our JV football team in action against the Vikings of Marysville. Here with those highlights is Cole Owens.
As the Vikings strike first, that will put them up 8-0. As Lanphier looks to gain momentum, Raymond Lucia returns a kickoff for a touchdown. As Marysville steals all the momentum by throwing a 5-yard touchdown pass to put them up 31-12. As the Rams score, but sadly lose 44-22.
That's it for this episode of Ram Report. We'll be back with more Lanphier sports news and interviews. Until then, we'll see you next time on The Ram Report.